Hi, good morning, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Kayla, and I am just starting a YouTube channel, so trying to grow a following and make some videos. So today I'm going to be doing another get ready with me, but today I'm going to be talking about my neurological disorder. So let's get started. I'm going to start off first by moisturizing my face with the Pacifica C&C Bright Luminizing Face Lotion, which I used in my last Get Ready With Me. And it's really, really good, and it smells really nice, and it makes your skin look nice and glowy. So my neurological disorder story. I have a neurological disorder called idiopathic intracranial hypertension, also known as pseudotumor cerebri. Last year in 2019, around, I'd say February or March, I kept having these spells where my blood pressure would jump up really, really high, and it would cause these really massive headaches, and I was getting these headaches every single day. And when I say a headache, I mean like it felt like my head was going to explode. I don't know if you guys know those little squeezy dolls where the eyes pop out of your head. That's exactly what it felt like. So I would get these at work. I would get these every single day. Now I'm going in with my Maybelline 24-hour full coverage foundation. I would get these headaches every single day, and they weren't getting any better. Ibuprofen wasn't helping. Nothing was helping. So, when nothing helps, you get a little desperate. And there was one day that my blood pressure shot up pretty high while I was at school. I'm a teacher, and the school nurse took my blood pressure, and she said, you need to go to the doctor because your blood pressure is really high. So I went to my doctor, who then asked for me to have a CT scan done of my head. So I had a CT scan done, and on the CT scan, which I don't know if you ever had a CT before, but you lie in this machine, and it's like this tubal machine, and it's in the X-ray radiology family. And they found what's called a white matter lesion on my brain. So after they found this white matter lesion, they sent me to have an MRI done. Next, I'm actually going to do my concealer. I'm using the e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer. So, the MRI showed the same they called it a bright spot or a white matter lesion. And it was, if I remember correctly, it was like right here on my brain, on my skull. So then I was referred to a neurologist. And this is towards the end of the school year last year, so I'd say around May, right around my engagement, I started going to the neurologist. The first thing the neurologist had me do was have an eye exam done to see how my vision was. And at the time, my vision, I wear glasses, so it's not very good. But my vision wasn't getting worse, so that was good. Sorry. Hydrate, people. This is my Hydro Flask. I love my Hydro Flask. So, because it wasn't getting worse, and I didn't have what's called papilledema, which is swelling of your optic nerves, we weren't really quite sure what was going on, but my doctor was pretty sure I had idiopathic intracranial hypertension, or pseudotumor cerebri. Now I'm going in with Beauty Bakery's flour and setting it. So, setting my concealer. After that, I regularly went to the neurologist. He put me on a blood pressure medicine, and he put me on some muscle relaxers in the evening, and we just kind of left it at that for a while, but nothing was getting better. And at this point, I had been seeing a neurologist pretty much monthly. I even did this thing called Aimovig, which is an injectable. And we tried several different methods, and nothing seemed to be working. And my headaches only seemed to be getting worse and increasing in frequency and becoming more debilitating as time went on. Next, I am actually going to go in with my eyes, and I'm using a new palette today. I'm using Jeffree Star's cremated palette. So anyway, back to my story. They started getting worse, and I was taking trips to the ER because my eyes were doing things like drooping or swelling, or like they would move back and forth, and it was really painful and really strange, and nobody could really tell me what was going on, and there wasn't much that they could do in the ER. In fact, I went to the ER one time, and they had to Google my symptoms because they weren't sure what was going on, even though I told them I had this thing called idiopathic intracranial hypertension, but it is so rare that not a lot of doctors know about it. So, I think I'm gonna go in with the color Casket Ready and prime my eyelids. So, after going to the ER and getting no relief, and I had everything, some more time went by, and I had a really, really bad spell where one of my eyes kept force closing. So I was trying to hold it open, but it kept shutting. And so I called my neurologist. I said, look, this is what's happening. And he said, you need to come in immediately. So my mom took me to the neurologist. Yes, I'm 26, and yes, I still get help from my mom. I'm very fortunate. I love my mom. Anyway, I went to the neurologist, and they told me that I was going to have what was called a spinal tap done. And basically, I'm now going to go in with the color Lastra Specs in my crease. Basically, a spinal tap is when they take a needle and they go in between your vertebrae and your spine to your spinal cord and pull off fluid, which I haven't done a really good job explaining about pseudotumor cerebri, so I'll take a second and explain that. So pseudotumor cerebri, or idiopathic intracranial hypertension, is where your body creates spinal fluid but doesn't drain it properly. See, everybody's body creates spinal fluid. I just have an excess of it, and it's not draining the way that it's supposed to. So that's what causes the increased pressure. And the reason why it's called pseudotumor is because my brain and my body basically think I have a tumor, and I'm showing all of the signs and symptoms of a tumor that isn't there. Now I'm going to go in with the color The Morgue. So anyway, I went in to the neurologist, and the neurologist said, I want you to have a spinal tap done. And I was really nervous, and I said, but at this point, I had been in so much pain that I was like, okay, all right, I'm ready, let's do this. So he had me come in the next day, and basically they lay you on your side, and you curl up in a ball, and they take a really long needle. I'm talking like maybe even longer than this makeup brush. And they have to put it in your spine, find a pocket of the spinal fluid, and begin to drain the fluid. So, it's not a fun process by any means. They just do a little bit of a numbing med right on the top of the skin. And then that's pretty much all the numbing you get. And then they stick the needle in. So the very first time I had it, it was very, very painful and very traumatic for me. And I was down for several days after with pain. I'm now going to go in with the color Solemnly Swear. So I was in a lot of pain from it. It makes you feel like you've been kicked in the back. And it can also give you a thing called a low pressure headache. So after that happened, I was put on a medicine called Diamox, which is actually a medication that a lot of people use for seizures and epilepsy. And the Diamox was making me very sick. Sick to the point where I was losing weight pretty rapidly because I couldn't eat. So after that, which was pretty scary because I'm a pretty thick girl, took me off the Diamox and then put me on this medication called Topamax, which is essentially the same thing. And it had similar effects. It will make you, it makes sodas taste flat. It changes the way that lots of things taste. It'll make your muscles twitch. It makes you feel really cold. It runs you down. It's a really hard medicine on your body, and it actually causes kidney stones too. So I passed my first kidney stone from it. I've passed other kidney stones in the past, but I had a kidney stone from it, so my neurologist said he did not want me on the medication anymore. So he took me off of it. And now has put me on several other medications. Fast forward to all this time through COVID, I've still been having issues with headaches, and they're not getting any better. Things are just not getting better. So I go back to my neurologist, and my neurologist says, I want to do another spinal tap on you. That was this week. I was very, very nervous because my first one was so traumatic for me that I was really scared to do it. But I made it through, and it was actually a little bit better than the first one I had, and it wasn't as traumatic, and I was able to get through it fairly easy. Sorry, I went in with the colors Diamond Ashes and Last Look. This is the palette, and you can look up those colors. So I was able to make it through the spinal tap. I'm still really sore and having pain, and I have some low pressure headaches from it. But from that, the doctor was able to tell me that unfortunately my pressures had not changed. And because my pressures had not changed from my first spinal tap, normal pressures are between 7 and 18. And at my first spinal tap, I was at a 35, which is pretty high. And then when I went this last time, I was at a 25, I believe. So they were still elevated. So now I'm in the process of being referred to a neurosurgeon. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit so that I can do my eyeliner. So with my neurological disorder, there's a few options of things that they can do. One option is to treat without surgery, is to treat with medication. And some people are able to go into remission with no surgery and live completely normal lives without any issues. Which is where my story comes in, and I haven't had any success with medication. So the next step is surgery. And there are several surgery options. So there's one, and it's called transverse, it's a stent. And it's in your transverse sinuses, which are in the side of your skull. And basically they have to determine whether or not you have these small veins or stenosis. And if you do, then you can qualify for that surgery, and they'll be able to do that one, which is less invasive than option number 2. I'm just contouring now with my Ulta contour. The next option is to have a shunt placed. Well, first let me get, okay, so there's another option called optical fenestration sheath, and they go in behind your eye, and they cut a slit so that it drains behind your eyes. Which I do have papilledema now. I did go to the doctor, and they found that my optic nerves are swelling, so that's another sign that medication's not working. So they can do that step, but it won't help the headaches. It will only save my vision. The most invasive yet most productive, or one that's had the most results, is a shunt. I can have a thing called an LP shunt, which is actually in your back and would drain the fluid. Or I could have a thing called a VP shunt, which would be in my head. And sorry, my alarm went off and messed me up. Or I can have an LP shunt, which would drain it from my back, or a VP shunt, which would drain it from my head. Both would require surgery in a hospital stay for a short amount of time after, and a pretty extensive recovery process. So I'm in the process of being referred to a neurosurgeon now. So it's very possible that I could be having surgery very soon. This disorder has completely debilitated me. I have days where I can't get out of bed because of my head. Not only that, but it's also taken a really big toll on my mental health, because I'm not able to do the things that I used to do. I'm now going in with the NYX filling full on my eyes, on my eyebrows. So in general, it's completely changed my life, and now we're getting to a point where it may be a more permanent fix, which I'm happy for, but also very nervous. Some of the other symptoms of my disorder are a thing called tinnitus, which is a whooshing sound in your ears or your ears ringing. I've had both of those. Dizziness. Brain fog, cloudiness, like where you can't remember, memory loss, tingling in your hands and feet and face, fatigue, severe fatigue. And for some people it can be so severe that it causes a stroke. I've not, fortunately, made it to that point yet where it's caused a stroke or a seizure, but still having it can potentially cause that one day. I'm now going to go in with my eyelashes and put some lashes on, and I will be right back. Okay, so my lashes are done, and going back a little bit and talking about my disorder. For the longest time, I was very upset, and I was very wondering, like, why me? Why do I have to go through this? And, but eventually, I think I've come to terms with it, and I'm at peace with it now, and I know that there's a reason why I have this disorder, and there's a reason why I am putting this on YouTube, because I want to share this with other people who may have similar symptoms and may need treatment as well. So I want you guys to know, because for a long time I thought it might have been my anxiety, because I do have anxiety, and I thought, oh, it's just my anxiety. I don't have this issues. My headaches are coming from that. You know, there's nothing going on. But I'm here to tell you that it's your body. Listen to your body, because your body will tell you when something is not right. So if you feel that something is not right, look to make that change. I'm now going to go in with some lip liner and line my lips. And now go in with my lip color. I'm using Lip Lingerie. I love these nudes. And this fixed my hair, which is crazy this morning. This is the finished look. I'm really happy with it. And now I'm probably gonna go outside and take some pictures and insert the pictures. I also wanted to take a minute, you guys, and talk about some important issues that are going on today. Black Lives Matter. Point blank, period. And I'm going to leave some links in the description box to help you educate yourself if you feel you need to. I know that I do, and I'm still learning, and I'm still growing through this process. But all Black Lives Matter, and we can't take care of the rest of us until we take care of the minority. We have got to help Black lives, and we've got to do better about our insensitivities and things toward them. So again, I'll be leaving some links in the description box so that you can grow with me, and we can do more to help our fellow Black brothers and sisters. And thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.